such a big number and break a few records. So it's the most direct deaths since Katrina. Yeah, this year will be the 20 years anniversary, by the way. And then most freshwater fatality in the U.S. since Agnes, 1972. Something surprising to you guys maybe is the wind damage. So this is 65 just next to the fatalities. So that's actually break the record even longer. So that's the break the record since 1963. So that's about 6 decades. So the total cost is more than almost like $80 billion. So this is a $1 billion event, but it actually is pretty high. So what causes this? So today my talk will be basically consist of like 3 parts. The first part I provide the best background climatology and the life cycle, as well as the impact. So how the storm was formed. So it was formed on September 24th. So that day they give a name. So you know when hurricane get a name? When it reaches the tropical storm intensity, so basically over 39 miles an hour, they assign a name. So the plot shows basically how many storm days. So this is basically hurricane season, right? So every day it gives you a number about how many storm days in the past 100 years. So right now for the Helene, it's just on the peak season, of course. It's there here. In the peak season, of course, so it's about like 80 days during this time for the tropical storm or hurricanes. So it's actually pretty active. It's almost 1 storm per year, right? And so based on this background, the storm forms. And here's the track. So when you see this triangle here, dots here, that's basically when the tropical depression is formed in the Western Caribbean and trying to move forward. So every dot you may ask, what is that? So it's every 6 hours track. So once we have the sign color here, it's after it becomes tropical storm. So this is when I get a name, Helene. And then every 6 hours move forward, become average to the light yellow here. So that'll be hurricane intensity. This is when I enter the Gulf. So this is a time when we satellite image. So this is a microwave channel. If you've never heard about that, just think about that. This is the southern ring here. I have a circle here in the cycle. Inside we see a cyan color ring and the hole inside. So basically right now you can probably imagine an eye wall, or you begin sinking eye wall trying to form it right now. And then you can see the circulation was impacted by the Yucatan Peninsula. So then we move forward, right? After move forward, so we try to enter the Gulf. So what's extraordinary in last year is we have extraordinary warm water in the Gulf of Mexico. So what happens? So this plot basically shows the daily evolution of sea surface temperature. And what you see here, you see many gray lines, right? So that's basically 1991 to 2020. So about 3 decades data was shown there. So the average was provided by the black line. That's the climatology state. So Helene basically was on this time frame here. So the basic SST, the mean sea surface temperature is about 28.5. But what do we have? Average, focus on the blue line here, is around 30 degrees. So this is 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius. As you know, hurricane feeds itself to grow itself by get the energy from the ocean. So this is actually extraordinary response. Think about it. We have abundant moisture and energy to feed into the hurricane's rapid intensification rate. Okay, so, and then after 12 hours later, from that point, it's still category 1, but right now we can see the circulation is fully moving away from the terrain here. So there's no more friction to dissociate that. And we have very low shear, we call it in the Gulf. So basically you have all the favorable elements to intensify the storms. So this is what happens afterwards. You can see the dots become more light, more darker and darker to the gray here, right? This is every 6 hours. And meanwhile, you can see this dots density, spatial density, getting more sparse afterwards, right? That means storm move much faster. Yeah. It's moving so fast, but meanwhile it was intensified from Cat 1 to Cat 4 in like 18 hours. This is a 45 knots increase in only 18 hours, so just way above the definition of rapid intensification. So that's the 30 knots in 24 hours. So this is a very extraordinary RA event. Yeah, it happened in such a short time. And the hope is, we hope it is moving very fast, right? You don't have enough time to take energy from the ocean. We hope it won't be so strong, but it just defines everything. So it's Cat 4, near the peak intensity, only 3 hours later it made landfall. Just west of Caribbean, in the Big Bang, Florida. Yeah, so this is National Hurricane Center radar image, and right now you can see clearly the eye wall here to give you the most strongest winds, also the most like the rainfall is here. And away from that, you can see rainfall on inland as well. So after that, you can see the storm still keep moving very fast inland, and until become interaction with some middle latitudes, like the low-level circulation. And then they become the extratropical transition. So basically, that's the way the diagram. This is the entire life cycle. All right, so let's unfold review the timeline of the inland hazards. So we talk about a lot of inland flooding rate. Something you may not be aware is, so actually before the Helene's landfall, 2 weeks before Helene's landfall, we already have the TD8. TD8, so you see it does not have a name because it's a tropical depression. It's not strong enough to approach the tropical storm intensity. But that storm, even is not named, given 60 inches, more than 60 inches rain in North Carolina. So the soil already starts to become soaked. And 2 weeks later, when Helene tried to approach here, forming a gulf, even before its landfall, we accumulated about 10 to 12 inches rainfall. So this is actually the rain band here before the landfall. The rain band approaching here just along the south of Lunch Mountains there. We call it PRE, this pre-denser rain events. That's before landfall, that's what I call pre-denser. So how this happens, synoptic-wise, we have a cut-off low that's remained nearly stationary to the west of mountain regions, and to the east over the Atlantic has subtropical high. You can see this is a clockwise circulation, this is anti-clockwise circulation. And meanwhile, you have the tropical storm bring all the moisture from the Atlantic to the inland. So this basically forms a very effective moisture channel just inside of this channel here. And so we have the synoptic lifting, of course. So this is when you have the jet flow and you have a low-level circulation, you have the synoptic lifting. But what happens, so that's why you see such a large area of the clouds in this region. And what else you see is we also have the moisture, abundant moisture, so they form the clouds. And why the peak was along the mountains, because they have terrain lifting as well. This is a localized lifting, so that's the extra elements. So when they combine together, that's a big party about inland flooding. And this is something well seen both by the National Hurricane Center and also National Weather Service, like National Hurricane Center. So they have given this message way earlier. So what if we look at the ERFI data provided by my students, Ethan. So we see this the gray shading here. By the way, this is basically give you the background about the terrain, south of Luncheon, right? And then this is a color shading will be accumulated rain. So you can see before landfall, you already accumulated about 10 inches rain in this mountains range here. You see that? When above the gray color, that's about 10. You can see that below landfall, you get almost 10. And then post landfall, you still accumulate the rain. So that's giving you a maximum about 30 inches rain total. That's a peak amount, more than 30 inches in the southern Appalachian region. And I think that's in the Asheville, nearby Asheville, some location. And then meanwhile, we also bring 100 miles wind gust in Georgia, because it's a faster moving storm. Before the friction tries to decelerate the wind, they're already approaching the Georgia. And actually, this is a large storm as well, we'll talk about later. So why we have such a large damage about this storm? Because we have total accumulated about 30 inches rain inland, so the soil was liquefied almost. So when the soil becomes liquefied, do you want hiking in the mountains? I guess not, right? It's going to be easily especially with the damage wind from the hurricanes. So that's going to bring all the trees down along the road. And then when the tree is gone, the soil becomes liquefied, and then you can anticipate a lot of landslide, right? Because there's even flooding as well. So there combined, there's over 2,000 landslides recurred in the Appalachian Range, south of Appalachian regions. So this is when the catastrophe really unfolds in North Carolina. Another thing I want to talk about is storm size. So this is something we probably don't pay enough attention for this storm. As you probably see earlier, the cloud shield covered almost half the United States, right? So this is a storm on the right is Helene. This is the microwave image. This is infrared image. Basically, we can see how if you see the red color there, basically that's mark the size of the core of hurricanes, right? And how that compared with another category 5 storm, Hurricane Michael in 2018. So that's 7 years ago from now. If you're moving the circle to the left. Does the red feel the color, the circle here? Yes or no? Pretty nice. So let's give you the size. How much the difference about the storm size? Yeah, Hurricane Michael is Cat 5, but why not? That's not bringing such a damage like Helene. It's much smaller and actually moving slower. And from language to discussion on that day, September 26th, that's the day when the rapid intensification on 6. And it says, compared to the system of previous hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, over the past couple of decades, the storm size of Helene is still in upper hand. Yeah, let's give you the message of what's going on about this storm. So you won't be surprised because of a large area of core region, so you bring a lot of wind damage. And the blackout was devastating, so it's over 4 million people. Yeah, accumulated over 4 million people after landfall, so without power. Just in Asheville again, so this is first from the AMS Helene sessions. So the number I got is like we got over 800,000 acres, timber fallen. So this is very big trees. And then infrastructure damage, including the, of course, power line was knocked down by high winds. And something I don't know is the fiber optics is knocked down as well. That's why we don't have the internet. So generally, to summarize the damage, you have no power for multiple days. And meanwhile, the cell, no cell signals for 3 days. Even if you recover later, you probably cannot make an over call outside. So the communication is totally shut down during that days. No internet for 2 weeks on this. And even the external aids, which try to find go to the rescue region, is so hard because the tree blocked down the roads. You have a landslide, right? So the road is totally buried by that. And there's no access to supply for days. And what most surprising to me is even the water supply is still not fully recovered so far. Yeah, that's basically highlight the damage to the infrastructure more than even the power line. So the water system is still using the bottled water in general. So that's really a devastating event. So here is the some image, left and right. That giving you the truck, right, was buried by the landslides. The landslides here, and then the road was damaged. The power line was tilted. Basically, it's damaged as well. This is one of my UH students. He went to the eastern Tennessee and went trying to see what's going on after a storm.
Oh, it's just rocks. Oh, that was a house.
That was a house.
I think. Was it a fireplace?
Yeah. That's the only thing left. No foundation was visible, only the fireplace. So this is kind of a catastrophe was facing there. Yeah, definitely this is only one glimpse of them. So given these like catastrophic events, so how were the forecasts? I guess everyone wants to know the answer. So let's give some quick review about what's going on. So 2 days, September 25th, the landfall was 0, 3, UTC, and 27, right? 25th, 2 days ago, NOAA issued the warning. So they use a very strong word in this message. What they use? Catastrophic, life-threatening, and flooding. They also highlight, yes, there's widespread blackout pretty soon, as we showed earlier, because of heavy wind damage. And then they also highlight this is a kind of a rare news release, because they get enough confidence to say, yeah, this is going to happen, right? So there's a rare news release from NOAA, from our professional weather events. So this is something we're going to face. And then later on, for example, this is a kind of the South Carolina and the Greensville and Sparkman, like the weather forecast office, they retrieve this message and basically posting on the social media right now, just popular to know, okay, this is something going to happen pretty soon. And National Hurricane Center, how did their forecast? So why they can make the message so 2 days in advance? Their forecast actually is very good. They capture the rapid intensification and track before landfall. Let's focus on the track first. So this black line basically is a best track. Yeah, it's not officially released, but it's the best observation we have right now. So that's kind of the track we have. And we see the color line, the dash lines. These are the different forecast cycles, initialized at different times. Yeah, you can see they have a consistent track just near landfall here. Yeah, post landfall, there's some lift bias. Yeah, that's related to some like the wind damage we discussed already. And what about the rapid intensification forecast? This is the wind max, so basically the storm intensity evolution. Yeah, this is the time evolution of that. And you can see this is the best shot. So the 18-hour intensification was here, right? And then the different cycles, color line here, you can see a different cycle just pushed to these high ends of the peak intensity a few days ago. So they consistently give the rapid intensification. That's why it gives such a confidence about what's going on in the next 2 days. So the RF forecast is actually very successful. Yeah, and then let's talk about some structure of TC, because this is the track intensity. What about the structure, right? So how we assess that? So this is an ARA, like the product for the NIST. Yeah. The left one, we can think about that's the observational truths. The right one is when our forecast just before landfall. The message we deliver as a warning, right? So because the tropical storm force wind was defined as about 39 miles per hour, so let's find the 49 miles per hour as contour as the tropical storm force wind. That makes sense, right? So let's find the left panel here. So the purple line we highlight here, yeah, that's the vast majority area. So further inland, beyond beyond the North Carolina, all the way like in the sea above. So what about the day 26? This is when, all right, this is when we have the RA forecast on that day. This is storm, this is rapid intensifying to the major hurricanes. And this is when National Weather Center released this tropical storm warning. You see the blue shading? That's when the tropical storm warning. Basically, this is the region they think is going to experience tropical storm force wind. And then if we scale this purple contour on the right, which is the same scale analysis, so what happens here? We're going to find out we have a much more widespread forecasting inland. So why is that? And I think one important factor because it's moving much faster than the model guidance. You're moving too fast and the track is slightly to the right. So that basically avoid the terrains to the later time. So you have stronger winds further inland. And we can see the track, the tropical storm force wind is a little bit out of the domain here on the left, right? That's the west part. Because of the track, we have like left bias, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah, this is how I explain the structure forecast. Yeah, we're still not to that stage yet. We're still working on that for improvements in the future. And what about the rain? This is something probably everyone interested in the most. So how much rain we forecast? So this is the 25th. Yes, 2 days before landfall. And this is WPC Weather Prediction Center, give you the day 1 to day 5 cumulative rainfall. And we can see the pattern compared to the observation or the truths provided by the WPC layer. You see the rain pattern is exactly the same. The peak amount of rainfall will be concentrated in the Appalachian range, right? So the peak of this day 1 to day 5 forecast is like 20 inches. It's still lower than the peak. But given this amount of 20 inches in that location, you can already know the hazard is going to come. So that's why I do like catastrophic events. Yeah, so rainfall, I think they did a decent job on capturing the patterns 2 days before rainfall. So it's actually very, very awesome. All right, so given this background, and then, so what do we learn from this event? Yeah, and you probably have no idea like how good the RA is, so I want to provide some background on this. So let's talk about the micro again, 2018 days. Yeah, you see the similar track forming the Western Caribbean and moving to the Gulf. And it actually is stronger, become category 5 before landfall. So what about the RA forecast? Black line is still the best track, think the truths. Color line is the forecast cycle. You see that from the early stage here, they push up, push up, push up, until before landfall. They don't even push up to the category 5. It's pretty struggle. Yeah, we have a lot of damage and hazards from the Helene, and it definitely is catastrophic. So what if we have this RS scale for this case? Yeah, would that get even worse or getting better? Yeah, this is a question to you all. You probably have the answer already. Yeah, if we don't anticipate the RF for the Helene 2 years ago, what's going to happen? Yeah. So we have improved a lot about this intensity, especially our rapid intensification forecast. Yeah, this can be shown actually supported by the MHC data. So this is basically show the one decade evolution, how their forecast scale is. The left one show the track scale, the right one show the intensity scale. Yeah, track scale, there's some milestone. So after the 80s, you see the 80s, when you there's widespread satellite image, satellite data, we have satellite in the sky, they observing, provide the data. So this is when we produce better results after 80s. And then we keep continuing the track with years. It's very encouraging. And what about the intensity forecast on the radars? Did we do something until 2009? It's improved by very slightly. What happens after that? 2010 to 2019, so we have a large decrease of our intensity error. So because of NOAA, I have a new project we call the Hurricane Forecast Improvement Plan, HP. So HP starts, and I joined HRD Hurricane Research Division in Miami in 2018. So this is when we try to handle the next generation hurricane forecast model. So you can see the further improve of the intensity forecast. So one dominant reason for that, we have handled better about rapid intensification. Right? That's a huge error. If you miss about the Category 5 storm with only tropical storm force, wind as a prediction, you have a huge error for intensity forecast. So HP, what they did, so they have basically 3 goals. So they want to improve the forecast, so it's been implemented since 2009. They have 3 goals, so they're particularly focused on rapid intensification forecast improvements. And the second one, they want to improve the forecast and also want to improve the communication, because you want better forecast and better communication. And last one is we try to have better risk communication. So basically 3 components. They have an advanced hurricane forecast model at that time. So how can they achieve the intensity forecast error reduction? So basically we have 3 elements. First thing, we still need to understand how the hurricane behaves over the ocean or after landfall. And then understanding better, we can predict that better, right? So we have 3 elements. First thing, we have observations. Hurricane hunters every season fly to the storms, the most dangerous area in the Earth, on the Earth. And then using that observation from aircraft, this is the sail drones, the UAVs, they like the drones, that's the unmanned technology. And using that data in this manned, very dangerous zone, and putting back that, absorb that by the model as initial conditions. So that's what we call data simulations. And then generating initial field, we start to forecast, right? This is the model forecast. And meanwhile, the observation can also try to validate the modeling results, right? And this is how the 3 components try to integrate with each other. Yeah, so provide some perspective about observational efforts. So I give you some video next slides. So basically, this is a kind of NOAA P3 aircraft flying into the hurricane's eye wall. Yeah, you can see P3 was very bumpy there because a lot of drag, downdrag in hurricanes. Right now we're into the most beautiful part of the hurricanes, the eye wall. That in effect, from the belly we just released the drones. So you have a package of that, and then you have the parachutes. Package left the body, and then the wings start folded, unfolded, and then they try to release. So it descends, spiraling along the inner side of the eye wall and try to get the maximum winds, and even fly all the way to the Earth's surface when a manned aircraft can impossibly do right now. So this is where we get energy to develop the storms. Yeah, so with this data, I'm feeding into the model, and we have improved the model physics using that data as well. So this had a lot of improvement for the forecast. So the next component that we talk about is the modeling, the hurricane forecast model. 2009 is when we have the first generation hurricane forecast model we call Hurricane World. Yeah, it has been used until right now, so it's been a while. And then in 2018, I joined Hurricane Research Division. I tried to start to develop the model physics for the next generation model we call HAPS, Hurricane Analysis and Forecast System. Yeah, so basically you can imagine you have the storm here, so we have tire within the entire globe. So it's a pretty fancy configuration. So what we try to emphasize here is, in the daytime, like today we have so many cloud sails, and we actually like ocean here, or even land. We have friction, we have a heat, right? So that produces a lot of 80s, because the turbulent 80s. It's pretty small. It can be a few meters, 100 meters, but it's definitely less than 1 grid cell. Like typically 1 grid cell for the weather prediction model is about 1 to 2 miles. But right now, like these things just cannot be resolved. That means we cannot predict them. So what do? We need to have to design some scheme to represent their aggregate effects, because they will affect the mean. What the mean represents can be the mean or storm intensity, right? This process is very tiny, but still play a big role. So this is what I did. Developed the TCPBL, things like 2022 paper. And the 80 size is much smaller than 1 grid cell. So here's the impact. Still a hurricane Michael, yeah, in this case. So left one show the track, different members using different schemes. So the one we are focusing about the blue line first. Yeah, that's the halves forecast using the original PBO scheme we call. That's the PBO is the bottom, like 1 to 2 miles of the atmosphere. So we use that scheme, and compared to the NHC best track, this is the maximum wind here. Yeah, much low bias here. The RI does not start until like probably delay about 1 day. So that's why when you go to the landfall here, you don't have enough time to intensify, so you have a significant weak bias compared to the best track. But somehow, once we use the new scheme here, you can see the RM scale was much earlier. So that's another way to demonstrate how the physics improve the forecast. And then for the storm intensity, this is storm structure. You can think about that as a chord size. And the red line basically is the blue line, so that's meaning it's smaller. The smaller one was more comparable with the dash line, is the NHC best track data. So you're more closer to the observations. You can think it that way. So the core is more compact, the storm is stronger, and this is not even one case. So we have performed like 3 hurricane seasons evaluations, more than 500 cases evaluated here. So the TC PBO is the gray line here, and the original PBO scheme is the kind of the brown color. The left one is intensity errors. So for the bias, yeah, we can see there's a weak bias for the storm because we missed the RI all the time, right? And then after that, so the bias was reduced. The weak bias was reduced because we handled the RI better than before. And the size-wise, we have the large bias, and then that was reduced. So that means the core becomes more impact and closer to the observations. This is kind of a 2 contribution there. And from the January 2025, yeah, this year we got like new web page, give some statistics here. Just give you like a sense how the apps model contributing to the improved hurricane forecast. So over the 3 years period assessment, we have 8% better prediction for track, 10% better prediction for intensity, especially for longer leads. And that's how you get the message 2 days before leads landfall. Yeah, it's going to be catastrophic. And then the last one I give you the highlight here is HAPS successfully captured rapid intensification, not only about Helene, they captured the kind of 5 Milton. Yeah, just a back-to-back storm last September. Yeah, so this is kind of a highlight here. So what's the pattern about in front? So I try to use the AI generated image here. So basically you try to have building a bridge, use elephant bridge, and between the mountains. Every mountain is blocked. So we have to build a bridge to build a connection here. So the first connection we build is elephant bridge here is we try to apply the improved understanding about the hurricane science, apply that to the better forecast models or better hurricane forecast. So what the elephant bridge is, so that would be the research operation. Yeah, it's kind of a challenge actually. So you want to see that, yeah, how to apply the science to that. So basically like the drawings we see earlier, that's how we apply that message and to all the way to the hurricane models, physics. And then we have a hurricane forecast. It's not enough. We have a better compound hazard forecast. Yeah, that's secondary like modeling work after we generate the atmospheric model. So the bridge about that, yeah, we engineer model, we did a geology model, even a hydrology model. What the engineer model did. Yeah, for example, you have a widespread tropical storm force wind over land. How are you gonna know if they're gonna be wiped off on the power line? Right? You need to know their engineer design about the power line. You want to understand about infrastructure design code, right? So this engineer part getting both hydrology, of course, inland flooding. Yeah, but inland flooding can never be in the mountains area, especially. Can never be as accurate unless you understand about this geology occurring. Yeah, in the North Carolina, when they have landslides, basically the terrain height, all the geology is altered. So the inland flooding can never be as accurate in that case if we cannot handle how the geology behaves in that situation. All right, so we have the compound hazards, and then we keep move forward. Yeah, we try to get the very effective risk communication or risk message, so that we're delivered to the public. So the connection of this elephant bridge, we call this kind of social and behavior science. Yeah, one thing we learned from Helene, is about the landscape risk awareness. Yeah, this is something you probably don't really aware before this event. Why? Because it's kind of like 1% a year's event. So nobody in your life has ever experienced anything like that, right? So the landscape, so you have like a lot of landslides. And then finally, I hope this elephant bridge can be much, much narrower. So that's where 2 years. you take actions. Yeah. How are you going to take actions? So what this element bridge will be, so that will be trust. You trust the local authorities, you trust the National Hurricane Center. And so how we get the trust? So we have to build reliable forecast, reliable communication risk message over time, right? So this is how we build the trust. Yeah. Every bridge is a challenge. So our goal is the 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to your years take actions. So we cannot be successful in the future to be more resilient without moving one component. So this is the kind of future about convergent science, right? So James Van actually today talked about the convergent science. Yeah, you can clearly see how physics, science combine with social science and finally impact the society. Yeah, so we have a group here, so we're channeling different aspects about these different mountains here. And we have to understand how the Gulf storm rapidly intensify. So my student Ethan was doing that, and also how we further improve the boundary scheme for the hurricane forecast models. And also the new NSF project that's exciting. So we actually, this project starting from the summer, and then we have the combined physical science and social science together. So that's like a new goal from NSF, because right now we're on this stage. How to, starting from the basic understanding of hurricane wind damage, for example, this project, and how we're going to making that a more effective risk, wind risk communication. Yeah, this is the kind of thing we try to start in the summer pretty soon. And we have some summer project for the UH students as well, still open until next Monday. But anyway, so I think that's my last slides. And if you have any questions, yeah, it's the time. Thank you for your attention. Any questions? Yes.
You talk about naming a storm. Is it based on wind speed or pressure or combination? What are the criteria to go from a tropical depression to a storm?
It has mostly right now. I think they use the winds. Pressure, you have another system. Basically, they are correlated. Right now, the Sapphire, like Simpson scale, that's a wind scale.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you allow the 64 knots, and then you become a hurricane. Any others?
Keeping people until 1:15 probably.
40 observed, right? So there's no question at all. All right. If no more question, yeah, I think thank you for everyone coming here. So it's an exciting opportunity to discuss about this. So I learned a lot. So if you still have some one-page slides, it's about the challenge. Yeah, I think your times are still. If you're challenged, if you're still here, yeah, I think this is some message you will probably pay attention. First challenge is we try to get rid of this deterministic forecast pretty soon. Yeah, this already happened for the European Center. So what does it mean? You don't have a line just give you the location of landfall. No, because that line can be one realization of reality. So forecasting provide a lot of projection for the future, and ensemble will be their probability forecasting. And then for public-wise, then we need more knowledge to understand what ensemble means, right? This is kind of where self-education really needed. Public education is needed. As if you have a meteorology student sitting in this room, yeah, that's your education. Your responsibility to try to convey this information at least to your parents, your family, and everyone, neighborhood, community. Yeah, this is one challenge we have. And another one is how to communicate these events. Like the frequency is less 1 per 1,000 years. You know, everyone probably don't have that in your lifetime. Yeah, already have, right? How do you handle it? So for the forecaster wise, they have to be very confident to give you this message, because if that's wrong, they lose your confidence, lose your trust, right? But for the people who never experienced such thing in the North Carolina, how possible you get 5 months rain in 1 day? Nobody ever expects that, right? How are they going to react? Yeah, that's another question. Yeah, this is something like we say earlier, you have a bridge thing that got this. So improving the hurricane forecast will be the initiation stage for further more resilient community. And then focus more about the community-based risk message. It will be a localized message. Your National Hurricane Center give you the high level catastrophe, but to your person sitting here, you want to know how catastrophic that would be. Where I should go, right? It's going to be catastrophic along the mountains. So if I'm living there, where I should go? Where isn't safe? Yeah, there's a lot of more localized efforts needed from the local weather service, National Weather Service weather forecast office. And then we also need to prepare for the more resilient evacuation plan for human flooding. Right now, yeah, it's pretty vague. I don't know how exactly that works. Yeah, for example, if in flooding you want to go to high ends, where the high end is. You know, which high end is safe? Because we also have wind damage. Where are you going to go? So this is kind of like complex. So really make the Helene's forecast looks even successful, but why the impact still very catastrophic because we don't know how to respond. And last one is what I learned recently from the AMS, the American Meteorology Society. They have a career forecast. I like this quote here, especially to protect life. So people, you probably need to go beyond the passive receiving the message from all the official forecast or official forecast. You need more actively using the disaster event. So that means you will need to self-educate a lot of it now. Knowledge about how the weather forecast is and what's going to be in the future and how you're going to respond. For example, the Helene, this time there was cut off communication for a few weeks because they're using the cell phone, right? There's no power, there's no television, no internet, no Twitter, no anything else, no social media. How you get a message? Or how you convey a message outward? Just ask for help. Yeah, so one thing actually right now, the recommendation is you probably need to get like a battery-supported radio at home as well. If the hurricane season, I highly suggest everyone can prepare one of them at home, just in case. Always prepare for the worst, so we have a more resilient society. So I think that's all. And any question about this one? Yep. Okay. Thank you, everyone.